Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, I've going to attempt to take on Eva's Manifest, the final fight. This one has been sitting on my desk for quite a few months and actually just leveled up the Lumina sphere weapon to level 10 through of course, the dungeon. There are much better ways of leveling up and getting XP than before, being that there's the phase shift and of course the phase amplifier. I'm sure you all know that by now since that mechanic has been in the game for over a year. Now that being said, as I've come back to Manifest fights, this is only my second one in the last year. There is clearly the manifestation, different versions now. There's a new area as well, which has been unlocked for me as of today when I went into the Manifest area for the first time. So that's a little bit surprising. I know there is some weapon tampering and other things like that, which I won't be touching. However, for the sake of this video, we are going to be attempting to beat Eva in two different ways. Now keep in mind this is not the true Manifest, so difficulty level definitely isn't too high and much more suited to a washed up gamer dad such as myself. But for those who have followed my journey all along, you know that Eva has always kind of been a thorn in my side. I really want to smack her down, not that I abuse women or anything like that. However, she is going to get what she deserves. So in the first of two different clears, we are going to use an all-water team against Eva. Eva, of course, is a water and crystal unit. And so water will be neutral against water. And of course, water resists, I believe, fire. So in this case, we are bringing a full water/team. Of course, we do have both Sphene, which you will see in one of my archived summon videos, which I'll upload in the next few weeks, as well as El Seal normal style, which would have done enhanced water zone at battle start anyways. Now, we do have Sea of Stars zone, which is unfortunately linked to ES Nagi. Not really useful at this point, however, does have some special effects, as well as not allowing you to do AF on turn 1. So just be aware for people who rely on that, you'll have to survive the first turn or do enough damage to trick Eva into getting into her first HP stopper. We already have first turn hitting the first HP stopper. Can't tell if it's about 15% or so. There is a second HP stopper, after which you'll see some annoying mechanics. We do have Awakened Water Zone, and because we have Sphene, we do have that 0 next to it. I believe this one is one where it powers up with multi-hits and decreases or removes stacks if you're a single target. I could have it reversed, but keep in mind that I don't have a customized team. This one has a mix of both multi-target and a multi-hit and single hit as well. And so I clearly am not bringing the right team in terms of having the right hits to get it, because I always get it reset with Ultra Lulu. And then you can see, so if you are planning to enhance that zone and make use of it, make sure you stack the appropriate number of units that can do multi-hits only. That being said, turn 2 AF, we have SA charged up for Sphene being the only SA unit on this team. And this is where the mechanic gets a little bit annoying. You can see that after the second HP stopper, we have a 4-turn barrier. So you actually have to survive and essentially do nothing or just build up your AF bar over 4 turns. Even with my SA move, it actually should be able to penetrate barrier, but clearly the newer mechanics negate some of the abilities you have, and I'll show you that later on in the video with my win team. I really don't like that. That being said, we did dispel and reestablish Awakened Water Zone, and remember that Awakened Zone only lasts for 2 turns unless you have some special mechanics that allow it to last beyond that. We do have units that can keep on reactivating zone and multiple units that can awaken zone, so that's not really an issue per se, but it just lengthens the fight because we have to survive an extra 4 turns. I haven't watched any other videos of other people, but if you have ways of, I guess, bypassing this, making the fight shorter, feel free to let me know. I'm always interested in learning, being that, again, really haven't touched the game competitively for over a year since my last video and the last island. So in the case of what I'm planning to do, we have multiple shields up both physical and type res. And because she does sometimes use magic attacks, type res will be required. If she's using any sort of physical attacks, then you would need both. Astro Drago is a pretty big hitter. And because Sphene gives a fixed shield of 3,000, you see very little damage being taken by my team. Not only that, we have multiple ways of healing, either from a Seal attacking with her main attack or Sphene as well. And so having those two on the team is a little bit of overkill and overlap. I'm still trying to learn how to use Sphene. The fact that she's fully SA'd, she has that move that gives both the praying ability plus the shield ability at once. Other than that, you're waiting for the end of the 4th turn when barriers are about to fade, and then in the final turn, I'll demonstrate something a little bit fun with Sphene specifically. Now, she has something called a Fulgor ability. She gets it at battle start if she's fully SA'd awakened, and she can also get it back from her buddy or her pet or her sidekick. And you can see I have her sidekick up front. When she activates or has Fulgor, either given through the sidekick or at battle start, her damage for one move is essentially doubled, after which that stack is removed. And since we now have no more barrier has finally faded after 4 turns, we can showcase really how powerful Sphene can be. I realize that obviously you can do hundreds of billions of damage now, so these numbers are rookie numbers, so to speak, but certainly more than the average unit that I used to play with. And here we go. 287 times 3, so essentially 1 billion just standing up without any AF. So that sounds pretty fun. And again, difficulty isn't fun. You can obviously enhance survivability with a true tank. Sphene already gives a lot of barrier. I don't really think I was in any threat at any point. And you can see many 0 damage attacks against my team, being that we have actually 2 50% type shields active, as well as damage reduction from singing, as well as other shield in play. You actually can use Tetra's shield on top to stack. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Eva does give power and int down, and so I do have in my back unit someone who's carrying 3 of the party wide, I guess, debuff resistance. Now, those are only 15% each, and so basically I have a 45% chance of resisting any kind of debuffs in terms of attack or power or int, but it was enough. And RNG obviously plays a part into that. Loadout is as follows. Haven't done a loadout showing for a long time, so I apologize for kind of struggling and kind of showing what I'm using. Just getting back out and resetting my move. Alter his Mina. Again, an oldie but a goodie. Completely bearing in mind that this is a very easy fight compared to some of the endgame content out there. All right, so while we wait for the loadout to show, I will continue to play the game and maybe upload from time to time. I don't want to be committed to doing so since there are things I still don't really enjoy about the game. There's many things I do really reminisce and fondly remember. And so, this first manifest fight of many, I guess, in the future was a welcome back for me, being that the difficulty wasn't too difficult. And now in my second and final version, I'm going to be using an all-win team. And again, remember that we have that barrier pierce on 2 different units, Bolt of Bahamut with my waifu, of course, Suzette, as well as barrier pierce with Twin Blade Wolf. Now you can see how this does against someone who has a barrier. And like I said, one of the complaints I've had is that, the game does give you all these powerful units, and then it puts up mechanics that actually negate those powerful abilities. And so I know that, the devs have to keep the content fresh as well as challenging, especially given the power creep for some of the units out there. Now, one of my subscribers did say that they've tried to tone down the amount of power creep. I haven't really kept up, so I can't really comment on that. But this although very easy fight, really does remind me, like, you pay for summons to get the most powerful Barrier Pierce unit. In this case, I don't have AS Cesta, so normal style Cesta would suffice. Used to do 2 billion through, most enemies that are vulnerable or weak to wind. And again, with Bolt of Bahamut, can re-establish wind zone and shatter or dispel any active zone. And, you should be able to penetrate and destroy everything, and this game doesn't allow you to do that. So, just a small annoyance as I've picked up this particular fight a second time. Alright, so SA is fully charged, and then we'll do that outside the second turn AF, of course. Alright. Here we go. So, you've seen the first fight, you know what's going on. Let's activate Bolt of Bahamut SA and see what it does. Remember that we still have the 4 turns of shield out there. 0, 0, 0, 0. Unfortunate. Because as you know, this fight doesn't have that many, that high of an HP limit. Only a few hundred million at most. Now, at this point, just like before, you do need some survivability. We do have, of course, multiple ways to apply debuffs. And keep in mind, at different phases of this fight, it does remove all debuffs. And so you just make sure you check the icons to ensure that you are not forgetting those power and int downs. Because if you don't, a well-timed Astro Drago or one of those Icicle Zorches will blast you out of the water and end your fight. As simple as it is, some of the basic mechanics are still in play. And keep in mind, of course, she has equipped type and physical res, so all damage is reduced, which is again another way of the devs bypassing some of your type and physical resistance down. If you really need to survive and you can count the turn that which Astro Drago comes out, you can use the tanking ability of AS Sora with no beast to help mitigate that, and she'll, with a high luck stat, if you have equipment or I guess gear that gives you high luck, then she will be able to resist that up to 75% chance if you have a guaranteed crit. And of course, being that we have void weapons on her, she'll have a 75% chance of resisting all damage coming her way and taking all damage for the team. Again, not much. You can see that her life didn't go down even though she got hit. We have a full AF. Still can't penetrate barrier. 1 turn left. And at this point, it's just, I guess a formality to wait out the extra turn. Now, on the other note, now that I've played the game again and realized how many thousands of hours I probably have to reinvest into the game, it would be quite a daunting task. I think that for those who are like myself, just kind of casually playing, you can summon on the units you want, and being that the game does seem to have more of these kind of 10% banners, you do get to explore the ability to expand your roster. Now, of course, one of the downsides of that is that you do need 3 copies if you are pulling on an off banner such as this, as much as it give you 10% instead of 3.6%. The real math is that obviously 10% is roughly 3 times 3.6, I mean that being 10.8. You're getting your units spread out, that you have 10 different units, but each one is a single copy. If you're fortunate on a 10 pull, you can probably pull 2 or 3 copies and then use one of your star charts to fully SA your unit if you'd like to. So it's a very good banner. Make sure you pull in the parts 1 to parts 3. And anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.